Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of the St. Clair County Regional Educational Service Agency, with your host, Chris Troy.
Exciting news came to aid of TEC's digital media students this week as it was announced that the two sets of interns at EBW TV have been nominated for a Student Emmy by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences for their television shows TEC-A-Licious and Thumbs Up. To tell us all about it is interns Jayden Johnson, Cailin Williams, Vincent Oldford, Alyssa Paynter, Griffin Dano, Behnke, and their supervisor, video producer, Sue Rutkofski. Jayden, it must be really an honor, feel like an honor, that your project that you guys have worked on has been nominated for an Emmy. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, it's definitely an honor. I didn't think that coming into EBW that I would be doing so much stuff around the community, and it's been a really good experience.
When you first started this, Jayden, how did you guys kind of come up with the idea?
We're trying to think of like content to put out there, and all four of us kind of put our heads together and came up with Thumbs Up. And now that we started creating content for Thumbs Up, it's been really like great for it to reach other people.
Cailin, tell me about Thumbs Up.
Thumbs Up is a series where the group in AM Tech, which will be Vinny, Jayden, Alyssa, and I, going around town and kind of finding just like small shops to highlight it, what they have to offer, how they're involved in our community, kind of like a tourist show, and we make it look as fun as possible to try and put not only the business name out there, but like also our personal name. I created a lot of great connections.
How do you feel about the fact that you've taken Thumbs Up and now it's been nominated for a Student Emmy?
The experience is surreal. I haven't really like spent time to think about it. I didn't think that we would ever go like that far or like take that step. We've always we talked about it when the topic came up, but we never pursued it originally. So it's a very surreal experience, and I'm not like fully comprehending it, but it's amazing to like reach the entire state of Michigan.
Vincent, when you started here as an intern, did you have any idea that you would end up an Emmy nominee?
I had no plans of it going this far. When I started off, I thought it'd be a good little experience, get to work in the community a little bit, learn some more skills that I learned at Tech my first year there, and just kind of stay quiet behind the scenes a little bit. But then when we got the opportunity to create our own show and be on camera and put our heads together to create this project, I had no idea it was going to go this far, but it's such an honor that we have been nominated.
How did you guys create Thumbs Up?
Thumbs Up was a last-minute idea, to be honest with you. We had an original idea, and it went out the window. It didn't turn out as how we wanted it to, and we were sitting there, and we were like, we need a new name, we need a new idea. We were like, well, we can just go around and give things thumbs up, and that's a good name because we're in the thumb. So we decided with Thumbs Up, and that we knew we wanted to get some exposure for local businesses. So with that and us combining our ideas, that's what we came up with.
Alyssa, Thumbs Up, and you're here at Thumb Coast. Was that just a happy accident?
It really was, because so our first idea was actually called Pick 6, but that felt very like it already existed. So we were like coming up with different words. We were like searching on Google good show ideas, and we were like, okay, we're in Michigan, the thumb, and we were like, oh man, we can go do this tourist show, because we were talking about tourism, and we were like, we can give people thumbs up for their businesses. And we were like, oh wait, Thumb Coast TV.
Did you, when you first found out about you guys are nominated for a Student Emmy, that had to make you feel kind of good, right?
Kinda. It was crazy. I got the email while I was sitting on my lunch break at work, and I called my mom. She didn't answer, so I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, guess who won an Emmy? Or is nominated for an Emmy? And he was like, who? I'm like, me. Me and my group. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And everybody's got to be really happy about it here at EBW, right?
Yeah, we're all very excited. We're excited for the experience. And, even if you don't win, it's just being there, being a part of it. It's pretty awesome.
Griffin, thanks a lot for joining us today. You recently got some great news. Can you share with our listeners what that was?
We were nominated for a student Emmy for our show TEC-A-Licious.
A student Emmy. Now, who issues those Emmy Awards?
The National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences issues those awards.
And your show, your student-produced show, was TEC-A-Licious. What's that for our listeners to know?
So TEC-A-Licious is the show that we came up with where we go to St. Clair Tech and we film them cooking a dish that they came up with to cook for them for the day, and we edit that all together and we produce a final product.
Griffin, how long did it take to produce one of these shows?
Day to film it, and we edited for about 4 to 5 days, and for prerequisites for it, we came up with our own graphics, and we made our logo and such.
Now, obviously, you had to work pretty close with culinary over at Tech. Did you have planned meetings beforehand? Did you know what they were going to be cooking?
We had email contact with the students and the teachers over there, and we let them know what we were doing and our filming dates, what would work. They let us know what would work for them. They told us what dish they'd be cooking, and then we got ready for the show.
Now, you mentioned the dish that they were cooking, and these were a series of shows. Was your Emmy for the whole show, or was it for one particular episode?
It was for our first episode. It was when they made butternut squash ravioli.
Well, that sounds good. Did you guys have any idea once the production kind of got rolling, like, this may really be something? This looks legit.
I think once we got the set up originally, it was pretty exciting because it looked very good. The room we had it done in it had a nice vibe to it, and it ended up turning out really good.
Griffin, what's it mean to you to know that out of all the entries, students all over the state of Michigan, that you were selected for a nomination? I mean, even just being nominated, it's awesome.
I mean, it was pretty exciting. I didn't know much about this beforehand, and learning about the fact that there are more regional Emmy nominations like that was really exciting, and finding out that we got nominated was a really cool thing.
Miles, thanks a lot for joining us today on Dateline.
Thank you for having me.
So you recently got some great news for one of the programs you've been working with digital media. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So I'm currently a second-year student in the tech program through digital media, and through our second year we have a internship, and my internship is over at Thumbcoast TV.
What do you do at Thumbcoast?
We make a lot of show productions, we edit a lot of spotlight videos for their website, and we make a lot of graphics for shows that we come up with as well.
And speaking of shows that you came up with, you guys came up with a show that has kind of gotten some statewide recognition. Tell us about that.
So TEC-A-Licious is one of our shows that we came up with within the beginning of the year, starting our internship. We decided that we wanted to do something with tech shows, whether that be construction, culinary, cosmetology, or anything. We decided to start out with culinary since a cooking show would get a lot of recognition, is what we thought.
Did you work with Tech, with their culinary program? Did you have meetings with them? How was this all set up?
When we first started, we had a Zoom meeting with their chef over there, their instructor, and we had also talked to the first 2 students that we were going to work with for that episode that we had came up with, and they come up with the dishes on their own and let us know what those dishes are. We have a lot of email contact and whatnot. They let us know what days that work for them, and we let them know what days work for us, and we figure out exactly what day we're going to do, and they tell us usually in advance what dish that they're going to make, and we bring our equipment over and we just do our thing.
Now, this series had a number of episodes, but I understand actually your first episode is the one that was recognized. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Our butternut squash ravioli episode was nominated for a Student Emmy Award.
And I'm guessing you were pretty surprised when you guys heard that.
I had gotten the email right as soon as my instructor texted me, and I was completely hysterical about it. I told my grandmother, I told my dad, I told my closest cousins, I told my closest friends. I even went as far as telling one of my aunts, and they were all really happy for me, and I was just I was so excited.
Well, it really is a big accomplishment, and I know everyone at Thumb Coast and everyone at RESA is really proud of you guys. So congratulations. We'll be hanging on to the end. Do you know when the award ceremony is?
Yeah, it's April 23rd. It starts at 11:30, I believe, and goes to 5:30. It's at the MSU campus, their Art and Science building, I do believe, is what it's called.
Thanks a lot for being with us today, Sue.
Thank you, Chris, for having me.
So, Student Emmy Awards. That's exciting for your students, right?
It's very exciting. For the first time, EBW, Thumb Coast TV, and RESA have had interns here, and we've had 2 groups of 4 in the morning and the afternoon, and they've been great to work with all year. Really outstanding group of seniors who, from our digital media program, and yes, it's a real honor for them to be nominated.
Sue, how did the ideas for these projects come up? Did you guys as staff help them, or were these completely student ideas?
Well, I'd say both the Student Emmy nominees, one is for a show called Thumbs Up, that's our morning crew, and the afternoon crew was nominated for a show called TEC-A-Licious, which is with our culinary arts students at the Tech Center. And they really came up with those ideas. The Thumbs Up program features local businesses and local fun things to do in the Blue Water area, and the one they were nominated for was with the Birchwood Mall and all the fun little family activities located now in the Birchwood Mall. And afternoon, again, was the cooking show. Super fun.
Sue, it's got to be different for you now working with students. I mean, you've been here at RESA for a number of years. In fact, congratulations, you're getting ready to retire. And you've worked with the professionals, but now you've had a chance to work with students. How's that been?
It's been great. I've been at RESA for almost 22 years, coming from commercial TV, and I thought, gosh, I thought RESA was going to be kind of a stepping stone in my career, and to look back and say, wow, 22 years later, and I've been working with kids this last year, really for the last 22 years on and off with all the local students, and it's been a real pleasure, especially this group of seniors from our local districts.
Well, you've brought a lot of experience with you, which has been great for the students. And for them to have this honor, I mean, that's a huge thing to be nominated for a Student Emmy, isn't it?
It really is, and it's interesting because the AM and PM students are actually competing in the same category against 3 other nominees from across the state. So unfortunately, one of our kids is going to lose, our student groups. But you know what? It's a true honor to be nominated. I know you and I and our group has been nominated, I think, 6 or 7 times for Michigan Emmys, and we've always been a bridesmaid, but that's okay. We're competing against the Detroit market, so good for St. Clair County.
Well, Sue, congratulations to you, the staff up at EBW, Thumb Coast, and especially your students.
Thank you, Chris, for having me today.
For Dateline Schools, I'm Chris Troy. Dateline Schools is a presentation of St. Clair County RESA.